What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with another episode of Rust Cribs, in which we take a look at some of the more noteworthy base designs during the last wipe cycle on the US Rustopia server. As you can see, these players here have allotted part of their compound to the new gardening mechanics in the game, and they have a pumpkin patch down there. Their marijuana grow-ops inside, so we're not going to show that off, but the pumpkins are pretty cool, and this is a self-sustained community here. They don't need to go out to hunt for food. These crops are what they're using for a food source. So take note of this compound and notice that it's sectioned off into different parts. Their quarries are housed separately from their main base, so they certainly know how to separate work from pleasure. The main base has the 4 tiers to mitigate against ladder raiding, but what I want you to really note in this compound are the signs that have the directions here. So north, east, west, south, they're all here. You don't need to necessarily put the directions with names. You could put pictures. You could have a picture of a dick, a smiley face, and say, you know, Raiders dick side, Raiders smiley face side. But these signs serve a good purpose in terms of giving players a sense of where the action might be coming from and how to quickly respond to a threat. So if you can integrate signs into your base or into your compound, it's always a good decision. And out of all the bases that I looked at this week, this was actually my favorite design. I don't know who designed it, so I can't give credit, but if anyone knows, please leave a comment. I think it's an absolutely beautiful base design. Note that it was raided. There's a hole in the bottom of the outer wall there, and there's some raiders running back in, I think, to make sure they didn't miss any loot. So it just goes to show that no base in Rust is unraidable. But this is a fine example of what players can do when they put their minds and their resources together. It's a beautiful base design, and it has points of view in all directions. The inner part of the compound is structured really well and uses space wisely. You'll notice there's a gaping hole in the middle because the base was raided. Outside of the base, it has about 8 ledges or tiers which help to mitigate and soak up rockets and also to prevent against ladder raiding. Up top, it has shooting ports in every direction, so it's a really well fortified compound, and the fact that it was raided says nothing about its design. It's a really stunning achievement. I really like it. So let's go ahead and take a look. Since there are some raiders in here, we'll go ahead and take a look at what they're seeing when they go on the compound. So absolutely massive building here. The path that the raiders followed looks like they went around the building and breached it from the side and pretty much blew the shit out of the core of the base. Typically we don't look inside bases, but this one's pretty much wide open, so I don't think it's in poor taste to take a look, because anyone can just walk in there and see what's going on. So you'll notice that the base has been absolutely demolished, so a lot of C4 was used to get into this base. Hopefully the raiders got, you know, their worth of C4 out of it, because they probably dumped a lot of resources into making that C4. But I really like this design, guys. It's not one that I've seen necessarily before, and I think it's just a great example of what can be done. If anyone knows who designed this base, please leave a comment so we can give credit when credit's due. And now we're moving into the desert biome. We're taking a look at some type of a large compound that some players made here. It looks to me like it might be a town or a village that players created, and I really like seeing stuff like this. We're seeing a lot more of this on the US Rustopia server. Because it's such a big server and on peak times they have upwards of 230 people on, we're seeing players come together and build more large-scale fortifications like this. It's really interesting to see the sense of community that Rust fosters, and when players work together they can build larger compounds like this, which really helps everyone to mitigate against raiders and to pool resources and supplies in one location. So I really like seeing stuff like this. You can see that the base has a massive footprint. It's surrounded by a wall, which is also integrated well with the landscape, and they're taking advantage of the rocks and using the wall to integrate with the rocks in a way that's going to make the base hard to raid. It's not really hard to get into the compound with the rocks, but once you're into the compound, it's hard to really know where to go with a situation like this. These different buildings have different levels of functionality. Some are very easy to raid, others would be a little more tricky. So it's, you know, going to be difficult when raiders get in here to know where to hit, especially if the group's online. And the way that the compound is structured, it's done in a manner that's pretty well done, where they can have lines of sight into the compound. I'd recommend putting up some higher towers on each end, because there are some blind spots in this location, but I like seeing stuff like this, and hopefully we'll see more of this stuff popping up on the server. It's really interesting when players come together in Rust and sort of create more of a sense of community. And now we're taking a look at a base that's integrated into the satellite on the map. It's not a finished base, so it's a work in progress, but it's interesting when players integrate bases with monuments. And we recently did a base build on the satellite, so if you want to take a look, go ahead and check that out. I like this one because it's integrated with the trees and it's well hidden, and I like the aesthetic of that. I bet these guys get some pretty good reception, so if you guys want to go over and watch some TV, you probably want to hit up these guys. And here we have the base by Tim Nagat, which is with Dirt McGurt's crew. Tim Nagat is his master builder that he utilizes for most of his base designs, and a lot of people were interested in TM's design during the last Rust Cribs video. You'll notice that he has a base that's ladder proof here, but he doesn't have the huge ledges jutting out, and it's a little more aesthetically pleasing. So we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at it. You can kind of see how he did it by leveraging the floors in the base here. And this base was rated, so you can kind of see into it a little bit, but it did still stand the test of time. They repaired it and it's still standing. TM's a great builder, and this base design is one that was a little more experimental. I really like the design of it. It has sort of a castle feel to it on the top, and then I'm really digging that new way that he's using the smaller ledges, the floors rather, to mitigate against the ladders and makes it look a little less jarring. So great job, keep up the good work, man. And last but not least, we're taking a look at a compound here that has an absolutely disgusting footprint on the map. It's an absolutely massive achievement, and I'm not really sure how these players were able to build it. It's a really interesting concept, and I haven't seen anything quite at this scale before in Rust. So the wall itself is something you really just have to kind of take in to appreciate. It wraps around this massive compound that houses quarries and also bases on the inside, and the wall itself, in terms of the wood, is a stunning achievement. I'm not sure how players were able to harvest this much wood. They must have done little more than build during this wipe cycle, but it's really stunning in terms of the scope of it. You'll see that the wall has those ledges, which is going to help to stop people from laddering up. So that's sort of just the new aesthetic with walls, as we've demonstrated with other Rust cribs that we've looked at. When we look in the compound, we'll notice there's multiple quarries, so the players certainly use the quarries extensively during this wipe cycle. They obviously found enough value in them to keep using them. Certainly the quarries aren't going to give you wood, so that didn't help them build that wood wall outside. Not only are they massive base builders, but it looks like they're good artists here too. They have some interesting artwork to take a look at. We're all mad here. That's certainly true for us who play Rust. And taking a look at this compound, it's really a stunning achievement, and it's really mind-boggling in many ways. As we take a look and sort of pan out here, you can sort of see really the sense of scope of it and see the footprint of it. It's something that you can pretty much see from space in Rust. So it's quite an achievement, and the bases inside are you know, well done, but it's really the outer wall that impresses me so much with this compound. I don't really know, what else to say about it, guys, other than if players band together and work together, they can build large-scale things in Rust. It doesn't have to be, always a small-scale base. If you want to go ahead and pool your resources, your time, and your effort together, you can build something like this with your fellow players, and it is going to give you a large footprint on the map. As we zoom out here, as we pan out, we can see the footprint of it, and we're going to keep panning out, and you'll see you can pretty much see this thing from the moon, if you will. It's really a stunning achievement, and when I saw it, my jaw kind of dropped. Having been a Rust player for as long as I have, you don't typically see this stuff quite as much on vanilla servers. So keep that in mind. It is a vanilla server. It's not a 50x craft server or any of that nonsense. It's an absolutely pure vanilla server. So alright guys, I hope you enjoy this edition of the Rust Cribs. If you want to see more of it, let me know. The purpose of this series is to talk about how building's iterating in the game and progressing, and each week we're seeing some different things being done and looking at different builds. I enjoyed making the video, hope you enjoyed watching it. As always, Fado82, peace.